As the Ravens get set to take on the Atlanta Falcons, they take the next step in trying to find what this new offensive line will look like.
Good.
We head down to the field, and our broadcast partner, Evan Washburn. Evan, this has been such a challenging week for the Ravens up front.
Yeah, unfortunate news. Beloved coach Joe D'Alessandris is dealing with an acute illness, so he is unavailable to the team for the foreseeable future. Let's take a look at the statement from the team. Offensive line coach Joe D'Alessandris was hospitalized over the weekend for an acute illness which will require ongoing treatment for an extended period of time. The hearts of the entire Ravens organization are with Joe D and his family, and we will continue to fully support them throughout his recovery. So on the field, George Warhop takes over that room. Now, he just joined the team on Wednesday, guys. 40 years of experience coaching offensive line, has experience working with Todd Monken, which is critical. He will also have the support of assistant offensive line coach. First year with the organization, but been with the team throughout training camp, Travell Wharton. And as John Harbaugh, guys, explained it to the media this week, he might not know the entire scheme, but he's familiar with the techniques that they teach as part of this system, so that is important. But this puts a bigger spotlight on what has been a position under the microscope over the last few weeks.
Thank you, Evan, and it certainly adds to the importance of today's second preseason game. During last week's preseason game, while referencing the lack of technology available for marking first downs, I made comments about the chain gang that I should not have made. For that, I am sorry. To all members of the chain gang, thank you for your dedication to youth, high school, college, and professional sports. Please accept my apology. Your contribution to football at all levels is appreciated and valued. Well, for Tez Walker and young Ravens players, huge day ahead as they try to solidify the work they have put into training camp and all of the work leading up to this point, trying to secure not only a spot on the roster, but a spot in the game plan. And the Falcons kick it off. Week 2 preseason underway. Bringing it across the 20-yard line. That's Chris Collier across the 30 and out to the 34-yard line. So again, Rod getting used to that new look of the kick dropping into the landing zone as the kick return returns to the NFL. Josh Johnson will get the start again as he did a week ago. A 37-year veteran, having played with 14 different teams in his career. Largest resume of any NFL quarterback of all time. And that's a compliment to a guy's dedication to his craft.
He's been around for a long time, and he's fought through it. He has a dream to play in professional football, and he has done so.
Ben Cleveland will start at center. Fa'alele at right guard. Rosengarten, the rookie, at right tackle. And on first down, it's Owen Wright carrying for a couple of yards. The left side of the offensive line, Andrew Voorhees, first-year player out of USC, and Josh Jones, the veteran, brought in as a tackle, and he might find himself getting a lot of work as the Ravens lean on finding some veteran leadership up front on a very young offensive line. Chance for players also to get used to early starts with a lot of 1 o'clock games on the schedule. Josh Johnson on second down and 8. And he's got his man out at the 48-yard line. Keith Kirkwood, a veteran to a veteran.
That's a great route, great catch. Kirkwood coming out of his break. Ball's thrown a little behind him, but he does a great job of twisting his body and looking the ball all the way into his hands.
11-yard gain, and the Ravens move the chains for the first time. John Harbaugh now in his 17th year as the Ravens head coach. 11 trips to the playoffs in his first 16 years. Owen Wright's got a hole between the hash marks, and he picks up 5, make that 6 yards on first down.
And that physicality of the run game is what the Ravens are all about. They try to wear you down, especially when King Henry starts getting the ball during the regular season. But these inside counters and traps, they can wear a defensive down during the regular season.
So much excitement among Ravens fans to see the opportunity of having Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the same backfield. On 2nd and 5. That's Kirkwood in motion. Right, a little adjustment, but nowhere to go. It'll be 3rd down and about 5.
Yeah, the initial hole to the left side was not there. He tried to go to the backside door, couldn't get outside. Good tackle by the Atlanta Falcons defense.
It won't be long until we see Lamar Jackson, Isaiah Likely, Zay Flowers in uniform and locked in for that September 5th opener on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. 3rd down and 4 on the opening drive. Josh Johnson under pressure, hit and sacked back inside the 40-yard line. And Rod, that time the offensive line not giving Josh Johnson any time to set his feet.
Yeah, I got to see if they turn the ball over. Did that ball come out? The ball did not come out. The ball's after he went to the ground. But bringing pressure as a veteran quarterback, you got to be able to see that prior to and try to get out of that.
A loss of 12, and it brings on Jordan Stout for the first time this afternoon. Stout hits a towering punt. And a fair catch made at the 12-yard line. Falcons will have the ball when we get back. Scoreless starts. Opening quarter of the Ravens Game Day Network. Opening quarter, week number 2 in the preseason for Zach Orr. Game number 2. Calling plays as the defensive coordinator. Rod, I thought his insight was interesting. Last week was his first week wearing the headset. He said job 1 was figuring out which buttons talk to which people.
Yeah, and also what helped him get ready for the game was the tempo of their practices. The way John Harbaugh does a lot of his practices, they go off script. The offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator have to call it on the run just like you do in a game.
Has an infectious personality. When you spend some time with Zach Orr, you can see why Ravens players already love playing for him. He brings such great energy to the job. Taylor Heineke, quarterback for the Falcons, on a rollout on 1st down, a little throwback completion out to the 17-yard line. And that's Tavius Robinson who makes the stop, but a flag on the play. Referee today is Brad Allen, sorting out the call with his staff. Preliminary signal is against the Falcons.
Player downfield, offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So Atlanta will be in a 1st and 15. A focal point I know for Zach Orr, the defense, not giving up the long drives that they did a week ago in preseason. Number 1, where they had 3 drives where the opponent had, the Eagles at the time, had double-digit drives. They want to erase that trend today. For the ground game on 1st down, William Hooper, and he's got nowhere to go as the Ravens stuff him for no gain.
And then the way you really slow down those long drives is you got to stop them on 1st and 2nd down, put them in 3rd and long where you can get to your blitz packages. And Zach Orr, the one thing he will do is he'll pressure the quarterback, and the old saying with the Ravens defense is a pressure or bust a pipe.
Carlos Washington on the carry. 2nd and 14 for Atlanta. Heineke. Quick completion outside the numbers, but it won't get far. Only out to the 10-yard line as Dylan Drummond is taken to the turf by Malik Harrison.
And Malik Harrison did a great job of putting his foot in the ground and getting out there in space to make the tackle on the receiver.
So a chance for a 3 and out for Zach Orr's defense to set a tone here against the Atlanta Falcons. Taylor Heineke, a veteran of 10 years in this league, 29 career starts. Ravens show blitz. And we'll see if they bring it. Here it comes off the edge. Heineke under pressure down the middle. It is broken up. Jalen Armour-Davis climbing the ladder and making a play on the ball.
Yeah, Malik Harrison and Owe got a lot of, Jabo got a lot of depth. That made the ball go up, and Armour-Davis almost got an interception on that first pass down there, down the field.
Good to see David Ajabo, number 90, in the lineup. A week ago, had not yet been cleared by the doctors. His first game action since a week 3 torn ACL a year ago. Pepe Williams is deep, awaiting the punt. settles under it at the 37. Williams sidesteps one tackler before getting to the 46-yard line. So excellent field position for Josh Johnson and the Ravens offense for their second possession. And the Ravens defense coming up with a 3-and-out. That is another PMSI 3-and-out for the Ravens.
And Pepe Whitten said he wants to be a returner. And one thing that I would suggest to him as you return, no dancing. Get vertical, and you can find the crease when you start getting vertical.
Josh Johnson will start under center. Owen Wright, the deep back, will get the carry. Gets around the edge and powers his way across midfield. Todd Monken in his second year as offensive coordinator for the Ravens is looking to expand the repertoire. Ravens worked a lot on the deep passing game this week, as they did throughout the training camp. Of course, with the emergence of Isaiah Likely as that second tight end who is an impact player, Lamar Jackson is going to have so many weapons to work with this year. Derrick Henry in the backfield, Mark Andrews likely at tight end, Zay Flowers, a second-year pro. Isaiah, check that Owen Wright spinning his way just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Ravens will again be looking at a 3rd down.
Yeah, good job by Atlanta's defense running that toss to the left side of the offensive line, getting out there, to the right side of the offensive line, getting out there and making that play in space.
Deontay Hardy in at wide receiver. First time we've seen him in preseason. Signed in the offseason as a special teams returner, but also as a guy who can round out your receiving core. Josh Johnson to throw on 3rd down. Drifting to the right under pressure. Completes it to Kadir Ismail, but right at the line of scrimmage, so the Ravens will not pick up the 1st down. But a fun moment for the Ismail family. Kadir Ismail, in his rookie year playing for John Harbaugh, the son of Ravens great Qadri Ismail, who was the Ravens' leading receiver on your Super Bowl team back in 2000.
Yeah, and it's great to see the family tradition. Qadri come through playing in the purple uniform, and his son having that same opportunity.
Jordan Stout on to punt. Matrone Brooks awaits the kick. Fair catch signal, fair catch made. And the Falcons will have the ball when we get back. 7:50 to play. Opening quarter scoreless on the Ravens Game Day Network.
The thing that keeps me going every day, and the thing that I remind myself of, is this is what I pray for. So when I was in D1AA, all that other stuff, wherever you was in life, regardless where you at in the depth chart, regardless of where your body feels, any other kind of thing like that, just remember, it was a time when you was praying to be right here. Bring it in. Family on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Ravens nose tackle Michael Pierce delivering the wise words, a segment at the end of the practice that John Harbaugh has created, in which he has players, coaches deliver what he calls the wise words, life wisdom, part of the team building, part of the culture building that John Harbaugh has done such a great job with over the years.
Yeah, and he's just telling the guys, hey, listen, you are hot. You are going to be tired in training camp. But remember, you prayed for this. You asked for this. So now you have that time. Now you have a moment to be where you want to be in your dreams. Fulfill it.
And Ron, I'm sure as a player, you went through training camp thinking, why did I pray for this? Training camp is not easy.
It is not.
Falcons will stick with Taylor Heineke at quarterback. Got a man wide open on the flat. He'll cross the 40-yard line and all the way out to the 44-yard line is Chris Blair with a reception and a gain of 23 for Atlanta.
Yeah, I think somebody just missed Blair going out to the flat. There are always, in every defense, there's always somebody who's responsible for the flat. If it's man-to-man, if it's a zone, somebody lost that opportunity to prove to the coaches they belong out there.
Trayvon Mullen getting his first preseason action today. Cousin of Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Battled through some camp injuries, playing today. Carlos Washington crosses midfield and gets down to the 49-yard line. Gain of 5.5.
Again, Malik Harris gets out there to make the tackle in space. He's doing a great job right now, Malik Harris, of going from the inside, running all the way to sideline to sideline.
You use the phrase Swiss Army knife to talk about Pat McCary and Pepe Williams. Malik Harrison is that same guy at linebacker. He can play all 4 spots.
The more you can do.
On 2nd and 4 for Atlanta. It's Washington hit in the backfield, steps out of 1 tackle and makes a couple of yards on a play the Ravens wish had ended in the backfield, but it'll set up a 3rd down.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for every player that's out there to prove to the coaches they belong on the roster, but not only they just belong on the roster, but that they belong to have opportunity when the regular season starts to get some playing time.
The more coaches see the ability of players, the more they can start slotting them into the game plan week after week after week. 3rd and 2. Washington hit. Stopped shy of the markers. Brent Urban leading the push for the Ravens defense.
The one thing that John Harbaugh knows, if you're going to have a great team, you got to have a great defensive line and a great offensive line. The defensive line did a great job of stuffing the run. And you normally run the ball on 3rd down to say, I'm going to go for it. If we don't get it, I'm still going to go for it. They're right at the 47-yard line. Great opportunity for the Ravens defense.
Falcons going forward on 4th and 2. Taylor Heineke in the gun. Gives it to Washington, and Washington breaks through and inside the 40-yard line for an Atlanta 1st down.
And it'll look like most 4th and shorts, most defense coordinators will go man-to-man, and when you go man-to-man, if you get through that first wave, there's nobody back there. Great tackle by Jackson in the secondary.
So Zach Orr will ask his young players to find a stop now. 1st and 10 Atlanta. Ball at the Ravens 39, under 5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Off the play fake, Heineke completes it. For a gain of about 6 to Dylan Drummond. In front of the veteran safety, Eddie Jackson, former Chicago Bear. Ravens acquiring him at the early stage of training camp. They were looking for veteran leadership on the back end after losing Geno Stone in free agency, and Eddie Jackson appears to be a great fit.
Eddie Jackson is a player. When he was with Chicago, he can do a lot of good things. He's been on the field, so he understands how to play when the lights come on.
Jesse McClellan in the backfield will get a carry. Flag is down as McClellan spins his way to the 25 for a Falcons 1st down, but this play is going to come back with a false start.
Illegal formation foul. Number 87 was covered up on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
John Harbaugh happy to send the Falcons in reverse. Covering up a receiver is one of the more difficult rules for everybody to understand, but the basic principle is the last person on the line must be an eligible receiver, and he cannot have somebody outside of him also on the line.
Yes, and that is up to the receiver. He has to see that the tight end is to his side. He has to step back to make sure that both of them are eligible.
On 2nd and 9, McClellan tests the right side, and there's nothing there as the Ravens stack him up. Adisa Isaac and Trenton Simpson making the stop. Adisa Isaac getting his first preseason game time in the NFL today.
Yes, outstanding job. Roderick Washington did a great job of walking down the line. And then Isaac and Simpson, they just cleaned up the pile for him.
Isaac, a 3rd-round draft pick. Close friends with Odafe Owe. They played together at Penn State. He's coming off the edge. Trent Simpson in the inside linebacker spot. Taylor Heineke to throw on 3rd down. Flush from the pocket. The veteran trying to extend the play, but he won't get far enough as Trent Simpson with the open field
tackle by Trent Simpson on the outside to the getting the quarterback on the ground. Not stopping his feet, always moving toward the target and wrapping up when he had to make the hit.
Rod, at the start of the broadcast, we talked about clarity and certainty. Trenton Simpson has provided both, I feel, this training camp and preseason. There is a level of certainty about the way he plays at a position where the Ravens had a big void after losing Patrick Queen.
Yeah, he plays fast, physical football, and that's what you have to play if you want to play middle linebacker in the National Football League.
Younghoe Koo with a 54-yard field goal try. And his kick is long enough, and it is good. So Atlanta on the board first with 2:21 to play in the opening quarter. 3-0 Falcons on the Ravens game day network. Ravens fans, we encourage you to visit BaltimoreRavens.com to enter for a chance to become the Southwest Airlines captain of the game. You could win tickets to a 2024 Ravens home game, a custom jersey, Southwest Airlines Rapid Rewards bonus points, and a whole lot more. 3-0 Falcons in front of the Ravens. 2:21 to play in the opening quarter. Younghoe Koo with a 54-yard field goal. Today is a Baltimore doubleheader. We have the Ravens kick off today, obviously, at noon, and then tonight, 7:05, the Orioles playing the Boston Red Sox. The Ravens want to thank the Orioles for their flexibility in moving back the start time to this game so that Baltimore football and baseball fans could enjoy this day and hopefully get a preview of what we might see in October with football and baseball on the same day. Deontay Hardy will take the kick return, and he won't get to the 20-yard line. He who hesitates is stopped. Well, up front for the Ravens, Roger Rosengarten getting the start today. And he has a very simple philosophy of what makes a great offensive line. Rod, he shared this with us. Fundamentally great, assignment perfect, nasty as heck. He may have used a stronger term than heck, but it is the idea that we're expressing from Roger.
And he understands what it takes to be on a great offensive line. Their offensive line in University of Washington won the Joe Moore Award for the best line in college football.
Josh Johnson will empty the backfield on 1st and 10 of the Ravens 19. Quick toss and catch. And that's Charlie Kolar, who will pick up about 5 yards. Charlie Kolar, the third tight end on the depth chart, trying to expand his impact, becoming more of a blocking tight end. He was a receiving tight end in college at Iowa State, and now he's trying to expand into being part of that run game as well. Second down for the ground game. Chris Collier has nowhere to go. Great second effort just to get back to the line of scrimmage. As we take a look at that tight ends group, it's arguably one of, if not the best full group in the NFL. Would you agree, Rod?
Absolutely. I mean, Mark Andrews is just one of the best in the National Football League. Likely has shown that he is so talented. Kolar is going to definitely come around. He just got to start playing a lot last year. And Ricard can play fullback, tight end, tackle, guard.
On third down, Josh Johnson, quick release. He's got his man. And that is Anthony Miller with the first down reception. Miller was a free agent pickup this week. A 6-year veteran, a former Bears second-round draft pick.
Yeah, this reduced split, just ran that speed out. Nice throw to the low outside to the receiver. And Miller going down and catching it right off the grass.
Picks up 8 and moves the chains in the final minute of the opening quarter. Ravens will stretch 3 receivers to the left. Josh Johnson throws quickly to the left, and again Miller on the reception, but this time stopped after a short gain of just a couple of yards.
Yeah, Monken has gone into a quick passing game to get Josh Johnson into rhythm of throwing the football down the field.
Talking about the Baltimore doubleheader, it's only the second time it's ever happened here in Baltimore. You have to go back to the 90s to find the last time the Ravens and the Orioles played on the same day, which is why the Ravens are so grateful for the Orioles' flexibility to give fans a special day today in Baltimore as we reach the end of the first quarter. 3-0 Atlanta in front on the Ravens game day network. Ravens and Ravens players hosting Orioles players this week at training camp. Kyle Hamilton, Cedric Mullins, Gunnar Henderson, along with manager Brandon Hyde, getting a chance to catch up with John Harbaugh. That's a lot of leadership together, and a lot of guys who understand different game but similar lifestyle. Several of the Oriole players, along with manager Brandon Hyde, spending the early part of their day here at the game before they'll walk across the street to Camden Yards, where the O's look to take the edge in their series tonight with the Boston Red Sox. Third game in a 4-game set. Kind of love days like this where you just get, it starts with football, it ends with baseball, and everybody's got something on the line. Josh Johnson fires again to Miller, complete across the 40-yard line. So third catch so far for the recently signed Anthony Miller.
Active day for the Baltimore Ravens City. An active day for Josh Johnson throwing the football down to Miller.
While the O's obviously very much in play in the win-loss column, looking to catch up to the Yankees. Even though this game does not count in the standings for the Ravens, as we have talked about, there are jobs on the line, there are dreams on the line, there are guys fighting for playing time when September rolls around. Josh Johnson on third and short, quick toss. Owen Wright, nice adjustment, and he stretches forward close to the first down.
That is
it's
a
Chris
great
Collins
cut by Owen Wright.
Check that, it is Collier, not Wright.
Oh, Collier putting his foot in the ground, getting vertical to get to that first down marker.
And he moves the chains. So Chris Collier, Division II All-American a year ago, showing his skills can translate to the highest level. Josh Johnson has hit on his first 6 throws this afternoon. Blitz pressure coming. Johnson fires near side and is caught at the 31-yard line. Keith Kirkwood making the grab on a perfectly placed throw.
That is a great throw by Josh Johnson. Kirkwood just getting vertical, acting like he's taking it ball deep, goes on a 7 cut, which is going to the sideline, and Josh Johnson just throws it away from the defensive back to the sideline. Nice throw and catch.
26-yard gain, and a good job by the offensive line picking up the blitz pressure. Collier alone in the backfield. Don't get the carry right between the hash marks, and he powers his way forward for a couple of tough yards.
That got hit right at the line of scrimmage, but still carried the defender for added yardage.
Malik Cunningham and Kadir Ismail coming in. Cunningham a wide receiver, Ismail a tight end, both trying to impress John Harbaugh. Unlike years past where there was progressive cutdowns, it's all one cutdown now after the 3rd preseason game. The guys know there are limited opportunities to impress the coach, impress Eric DaCosta and Ozzie. Find a roster spot. Here's Collier pushing his way down to the 21-yard line. It'll set up a 3rd and short. Lamar Jackson has settled into training camp and has been so much fun to watch these last couple of weeks. When you talk with young players, the level of awe they have in both playing with him or across the line from him is universal. An early snap, that's a fumble, live ball. And the Falcons appear to have fallen on it at the 42-yard line. There was a flag, but that is likely a false start. There was clearly a miscue between the center, Ben Cleveland, and the quarterback, Josh Johnson, who was not even looking for the snap yet when the ball sailed over his head.
That penalty is declined. The result of the play is first down, Atlanta.
So in a drive where so many things were going well, the Ravens turn over the ball as Chris Collier is shaken up. Josh Johnson not even looking for the snap yet when Ben Cleveland sent it flying. The Falcons ball when we get back on the Ravens Game Day Network. It is preseason for everyone. For center Ben Cleveland and Josh Johnson not being on the same page leads to a turnover that negates a 9-play, 59-yard drive.
Yeah, you look at Ben Cleveland, they were making a shift. They motioned and made a shift. I don't know the miscommunication from either Josh Johnson or Ben Cleveland, but one of them made the mistake. But Ben Cleveland has to make sure that the quarterback is ready for the snap when they're in shotgun. He has to look back, no matter if he can hear him or not. He has to look back and making sure he's giving that signal to snap the football.
Ben Cleveland does not have to download a book on body language to see that you don't want the head coach with his hands on his head. That is the worst body language for a player when he comes to the sideline. and has to explain what happened as he works it out with Josh Johnson so it doesn't happen again. Taylor Heineke wants to throw on first down. Has time. He's got a man open at the 30-yard line and all the way down to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, you gotta squeeze that as the corner. A deep over route from a condensed split. That's in cover 2. Safety has to take that over. So if I'm Jackson, you can't call it if they're running a go route on the other side. You got to squeeze it from top end down.
32-yard gain for Chris Blair, and now the Falcons are at the 25-yard line. Heineke wants to throw again, and this time incomplete. He was looking for Casey Washington.
And Casey Washington, and a lot of Falcons are lucky he got his hand on it because Jackson was right behind looking for the interception.
Oh, he thought it was coming into his hands.
He did.
He was right on that. 2nd and 10 for Atlanta. 11:18 to play in the first half. Falcons up 3-0. To the ground game. Jace McClellan. Only get a couple. It'll set up a 3rd down.
Great job by the defensive front of shedding the blockers to get into the running back, making them 3rd and long.
And as Josh Tupou checks out, David Ajabo checks in.
And everybody wants to see what can Ajabo be if he stays healthy and stays on the field for this Baltimore Ravens defense.
He's been limited to only 5 games in the first 2 years of his career because of injuries. An ACL tear a year ago in September. Heineke on 3rd down. Slings it near side. Broken up by Trenton Simpson. Trenton Simpson off to a great start a week ago, taking the next step in the direction of being an impact player today.
Great job by Simpson, getting his hands in there, knocking the ball out. He has proven to the coaches, you put him on the field, he's going to make plays for you.
And that will bring in Younghoe Koo for a 40-yard try. He hit from 54 in the opening quarter. This one from the left hash mark. Koo's kick, plenty of leg, but it is no good. Well, that missed field goal means you get a free 6-piece McNuggets with minimum $1 purchase on the McDonald's app tomorrow at participating restaurants. It stays 3-0 on the Ravens game day.
Ravens offense back on the field after a turnover in their previous series. And as we've discussed, this offensive line under the microscope. And after that turnover, Josh Johnson coming over to the offensive line along with George Warhop, who's taken over this week for Joe D. And just made the point. It's about communication, referencing pace as well. And, well, again, we're talking about the offensive line and what they need to do and all the question marks that remain there. Guys, I'll pose this to you as well. The fact that Josh Johnson's the backup as we sit here right now and moving into the season, it's something that probably should be discussed more because this is a team with Super Bowl aspirations, and the fact that Josh Johnson might be the guy to step in at times is critical.
And he is on target today. Finds Chris Collier out of the backfield, and Collier will pick up a 1st down to start the drive with an 11-yard gain.
And I believe you're right, Evan. It is critical because understanding who Lamar Jackson is and what type of game plan you will have comparable to Josh Johnson, there will be 2 different type of game plans. And I think they understand that this is more of a passing attack with Josh Johnson and straight runs inside and outside zones. See how it unfolds.
Collier will carry, and he won't get far, maybe a yard. So for Josh Johnson, when you look at his career, it bookends the Harbaughs. He starts as a college player at San Diego when Jim Harbaugh was really just starting his head coaching career. And here he is as a 37-year-old playing for John Harbaugh. To your point, Rod, that means he has been in 14 different organizations. So he's seen everything imaginable, but he does not have Lamar Jackson's unique athleticism. Nobody does. So Todd Monken really has to have the ability to adjust his play calling to suit the skill set he's seeing Josh Johnson display. And it might not be Lamar, but he's still at 37, can escape a pocket and set up a third down and short. So as we head down to the field, Evan, Todd Monken in year 2 has a lot more to work with perhaps in year 1.
Yeah, and the other word that comes to mind, guys, is trust, because they allowed Tyler Huntley to move on now with the Cleveland Browns. Josh Johnson, as you mentioned, been a part of this organization, this roster before, but this might be as high as he's been on the depth chart in a while over the course of his long time in the NFL. And again, just with what this team is expected to do this year, that puts a lot of weight on him to step in at times if necessary.
On 3rd down and 1, Owen Wright in the backfield. Josh Johnson appears to make a change. And the Ravens will take a timeout. Play clock was down to the skinny seconds, so we'll step aside. 8:27 to play, 3-0 Atlanta on the Ravens Game Day Network. Solid start for Ravens quarterback Josh Johnson. He has hit 8 of 8 for 70 yards. And he has worked the entire width of the field. And when his pocket wasn't clean, Ronnie still showing at 37. He can escape a bad pocket.
He still can run. He's a great athlete. I've known him since he was in Oakland over in San Leandro. He's an outstanding person, a really good player, but I think gives a comfort zone to a coaching staff and to a team that says if he has to come in and play a game or take over for Lamar, he can do that.
And after several years as having Tyler Huntley as the backup behind Lamar Jackson, Ravens started this camp believing it would be Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson certainly delivering the clarity and certainty the Ravens coaching staff were looking for today. 8.5 minutes to play in the opening half on the front end of our Baltimore doubleheader. Ravens this afternoon, Orioles tonight. Owen Wright on 3rd down. He won't even get back to the line of scrimmage, and the Ravens will be looking at a 4th down at midfield.
Yeah, that Atlanta defense came in and undercut the what we call cutter block, who came behind the line of scrimmage. They went inside of that, gave up no space, and John Harbaugh's going for it.
4th down and 2 from midfield. Josh Johnson out of the gun. And he throws a strike to Malik Cunningham. The former Louisville Cardinal spins his way down the sideline for a 1st down.
Yeah, anytime you see that half rollout, you got a number 3 guy coming out to block. And it's a nice throw on the run to where the receiver's at, away from the defensive back.
Malik Cunningham switched from quarterback a year ago to wide receiver exclusively in training camp, and he makes the biggest catch of his summer so far. 1st and 10 Ravens at the Falcons 37. Collier left side and just wills his way forward for about 3.
And just think what you could do if Malik Cunningham ever makes the active roster, because he was a quarterback. So you can have some trick plays, double throws out there that just puts the defense at pause at times.
He signed as an undrafted rookie free agent a year ago in New England, coming out of Louisville. Ravens picked him up off the Patriots practice squad, and this year dedicated him exclusively at wide receiver. There's Collier hit in the backfield, and he'll be dropped for a loss of a couple, setting up a 3rd down at about 9.
Yeah, this Atlanta's defense is very aggressive. And Jimmy Lake, the defense coordinator, wants them to be that way. They're starting secondary once the regular season starts. And Justin and Jesse Bates, they got 50 interceptions between the two.
And a big week of acquisitions for Atlanta as they traded for Matt Judon, former Raven and former Patriot. Now on 3rd down and 9, Josh Johnson tries to keep his perfect passing intact. Fires down the middle, and he's got Tyler Wallace, and Wallace to the 5, and it's 1st and goal Ravens.
That is a great throw and catch, and Tyler Wallace saw the color of the defensive back coming downhill, but it didn't bother him. The safety just took a bad angle. That's a really good throw and catch by Johnson to Wallace.
And that's one of the things you can't simulate in practice. You can't simulate running in front of a safety knowing if you don't time it right, you're getting drilled.
But you can see the experience that Josh had holding off the safety.
First and goal, Owen Wright spins his way for a couple. They'll mark him just shy of the 3. Ravens on 3rd and 9 convert the first down with a 31-yard gain. And Josh Johnson continues.
And it's the little things that a veteran quarterback can do for you. He dropped back, he looked to the left, held the safety, knowing that he was going to throw that dig on the right side.
Johnson, a perfect 10 for 10. You're having a good day when you're a perfect 10. Right alone to the backfield. He'll get the carry, and he bounces to the outside but can't get there. He dropped for a loss back to the 6. It'll be 3rd and goal.
So I guess Josh Johnson's a perfect 10. Goes along with Bo Derek back in the day. Perfect 10.
A lot of things you want to be called in life. A perfect 10 would be one of them. And it's not on the list of anything I've ever been called.
Me either.
He might have to be a perfect 11 to get the Ravens in the end zone here on 3rd and goal from the 6 with 4:21 to play in the opening half. Kirkwood in motion. Johnson rolls out. He's got the back. Owen Wright reaches for the pylon.
Oh, that's a close one. He hit the pylon. That has to be a touchdown.
I know.
I got to see if the knee was down.
Right. Was his knee down before he hits the pylon with the ball? It's right in front of the official.
No, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. His knee never touched. The ball crossed and hit the pylon. That is a touchdown.
And that'll be a red challenge flag coming forth.
You shouldn't have to challenge it.
Because it wasn't ruled a touchdown, you have to use the challenge flag. All scores are automatically reviewed. But as we look at the replay, his knee is not down.
After replay assist, the ruling on the field is a touchdown.
All right, there you go. So John Harbaugh doesn't have to use the challenge. And that's one of the evolutions with replay the NFL has done a really good job with, is using the replay booth to assist the officials on the field to make sure the initial call is right.
Yes.
So that a coach does not have to burn a challenge flag. So Owen Wright with his first preseason touchdown, and Josh Johnson continues a perfect first half.
Please reset the game clock to 4:10. 4:10 on the game clock, please.
11 for 11 for Josh Johnson. 120 yards and 1 touchdown. Justin Tucker's extra point attempt is good. Josh Johnson capping off a scoring drive with his 11th straight completion of the day. And Owen Wright stretching in for the score as the Ravens grab their first lead of the day to the delight of Lamar Jackson. 7-3 Ravens on the Ravens Game Day Network. Ravens excited to grab their first lead of the afternoon as Owen Wright makes the grab on the 11th straight completion from Josh Johnson, having a terrific afternoon as the Ravens cap the day for scoring drive. 11 plays, 70 yards, 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Owen Wright in the end zone, and the Ravens in front for the first time this afternoon with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the opening half. Rob, that's about as much as you could ask for in a drive.
Josh Johnson's playing lights out today. I mean, Dr. Seuss has nothing on Josh Johnson.
What's your favorite Dr. Seuss book of all time?
Cat in the Hat? I would think that's like the classic, right?
Love Cat in the Hat. Green Eggs and Ham.
Yeah.
Sam I Am.
There we go.
Oh,
that's
the places you'll go. Got a whole library of Dr. Seuss in the house. Always have. So Justin Tucker will kick it off. Be attempting to drop it into the landing zone. He succeeds there. Return across the 20. And stopped at about the 27-yard line. So far, it seems like the returns are getting right, for the most part, around the 26, 27. And now Zach Orr is going to look to his young defense to get the ball back to the offense. What have you seen that you like so far from this defense today?
What I love about is they're all flying to the ball. They're tackling in space. That's the standard of the Raven defense. You got to go out there. You got to be physical. You got to be able to run to the football. Your middle backers got to be able to run to the ball, but also be able to cover. And Simpson has done a great job these first 2 preseason games.
Zach Orr has David Ajabo and Tavius Robinson on the edges. And Tavius Robinson tries to make a tackle on Carlos Washington. He steps out of it, and Washington will pick up 9 on the first down run. Great effort by Tavius Robinson, lunging, leaping, but not able to secure the ankles of Carlos Washington.
Yeah, you got to make sure if you're the edge, set the edge on the runs, you got to get vertical so to make the run go back inside where all your help is coming from.
Second down and a yard for the Falcons. Washington up the middle. He'll pick up a first down as Atlanta will move the chains with 3:21 left to play in the opening half. Ravens in front, 7-3. Well, we talked about looking for clarity and certainty in this game. I would say the Ravens defensive coordinator Zach Orr has that with Trenton Simpson at the inside linebacker spot.
You know, I'm very comfortable for him to go in there and play with Roquan Smith, one of the, if not the best middle linebacker in the National Football League once the regular season starts.
Carlos Washington finds a gap and rips through it for a gain of about 6 to the 46-yard line of Atlanta.
And the Atlanta Falcons offensive tempo is picked up, so that means the defense tempo has to pick up and they have to play at a faster pace.
And I would think it's good experience for young defensive players to play against a 10-year veteran at quarterback in Taylor Heineke, a guy with 29 career starts. You're getting a decent look.
Absolutely. You want to go against all the veterans you can in the preseason.
Heineke on second down will keep it, slings it near side, complete to Chris Blair, and Blair carries it into Ravens territory all the way to the 41-yard line for an Atlanta first down. That's a 13-yard gain as we start to bump up against the 2-minute warning.
I would think they're going to let this clock wind down to a 2-minute warning. 2
minutes to play here in the opening half at M&T Bank Stadium on a day that starts with the Ravens and caps off with the Orioles later on tonight. Ravens in front of the Falcons, 7-3 on the Ravens Game Day Network. 3 Ravens in front of the Falcons, 2 minutes to play in the opening half. This season, for every Ravens touchdown, Baltimore area Toyota dealers donate $500 to Kennedy Krieger. So the on right touchdown is another $500 for Kennedy Krieger from Toyota. Josh Johnson has certainly checked all the boxes with his performance today for John Harbaugh. Has to feel very good about who he has as a backup quarterback behind Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely.
Now John Harbaugh looking to see some impact players on the defense. Falcons with a 1st and 10 at the Ravens 43. Carlos Washington picking his way through traffic for only a couple of yards. Atlanta has all 3 of its timeouts to work with.
They're not in a rush, but to have success in most of your drives, you got to win on 1st and 2nd down on defense to put them in 3rd and long.
Heineke out of the empty backfield. Ravens rush forward. Pocket collapses. Heineke escapes. And somehow able to get inside the 35-yard line. Rod, how does he get out of that with a sealed box?
I tell you what, he avoided all 4 pass rushers for the defensive front for the Baltimore Ravens. Done a wonderful job of getting out of the pocket, diving close to being for a first down.
Atlanta, their first. It will be 30 seconds.
Adissa Isaac with a pursuit on that play, the rookie out of Penn State, showing his ability to stay with a play. And then, of course, adding to the mix to go along with Odafe Owe. They'll have Penn State bookends the Ravens' hope this year. He had 7.5 sacks last year for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, Isaac, if there's one person that you want to root for, it's this kid whose family, he's the only sibling that can speak, and he wants to take care of his family.
Taylor Heineke off the play fake, has his tight end open for the first down inside the 30, taken off his feet by Ardarius Washington, who brings John Fitzpatrick to the turf, but not before he moves the chains in the final minute of the opening half.
That's a good play by Darius Washington. He was a middle safety who saw the guy leak out to the left side.
Heineke's pass sails incomplete to the far sideline, and that'll stop the clock with 42 seconds left in the half. You were talking about Adisa Isaac, his 3 siblings, each with a disability that prevents them from speaking. His brother has cerebral palsy. His brother and sister have autism. And this is a family that was raised from a single parent. Their mom, they call her Superwoman. What an amazing job she's done, and what an amazing job he has done.
It's a great story. It really is.
Now this defense trying to see if they can't put the brakes on Taylor Heineke in the final minute of the opening half. Heineke's quick release, short gain down to the 20-yard line, ball on the turf. So this one will be whistled incomplete. Trayvon Mullen making a play at corner.
Mullen does a great job of squeezing it outside in, fighting all the way down to the ground with him, knock the ball out. But Isaac right here, just tremendous story. And if you're going to root for somebody, this is the guy you got to root for, because you want him to make this squad so he can take care of his family.
When you hear about teams saying, you know, we want character guys when they talk about the draft board, this is a character guy. 3rd down and 10 for Atlanta. 37 seconds left in the half. Taylor Heineke up top and incomplete. He was looking for Casey Washington inside the 5. Well covered on the play by Kadar Holman.
Holman, Worley coming over. Seeing a lot of different white jerseys. And that's a really tough throw and catch.
That
but a great job by the defense standing up and getting them off the field on 3rd down.
That'll bring the kicker Young Wei Koo on for his 3rd field goal try. A 45-yard attempt. He hit from 54. He missed from 40. Young Wei Koo from 45. No good. So the veteran kicker has now missed 2 out of 3. And the Ravens lead remains 7-3.
The same side, the same end zone, the same hash mark, and he just pulls it. And I don't know if there's any wind up there. Doesn't feel like any wind is in the stadium today.
Flags aren't moving. But now the Ravens with 2 timeouts get the ball back with 28 seconds left in the half. And Devin Leary will come in at quarterback as Josh Johnson's day ends on a perfect note and a touchdown pass. Leary, the draft pick out of Kentucky, slings a strike out to the 47-yard line as Dayton Wade makes his 5th catch of the preseason. And John Harbaugh will use one of his 2 timeouts. Big arm was the scouting report on Devin Leary coming out of Kentucky. Not always accurate. Had a problem with some interceptions last year for the Wildcats. And we've seen the big arm in training camp. We've seen it in preseason. The kid can throw the ball.
He has a rifle arm. And now it's just all about precision. Precision, precision, precision in the National Football League. If you can throw it away from the defender, give your offensive receiver an opportunity to catch the football, you're doing him a service.
Last week, 6 for 10 in his preseason debut. Starts off 1 for 1 today, trying to get Justin Tucker into field goal range if he can't get the ball to the end zone. Tucker warming up on the sideline as Devin Leary on 1st and 10. Big throw, but that was too big of an arm as it sails over top the head of Sean Ryan.
And the one thing that Leary was going to find out in the National Football League, you can't stare to the side you're going to throw to, because he was staring to the left side he was thrown to the kind of what we call that window on the sideline. But as he was staring, safeties were moving over there.
It will track your eyes, which is why you've seen in recent year quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, one of them, who are developing no-look throws. They're looking right, they're throwing left. Here's Leary on second down, under pressure. He'll escape, won't get far. Maybe 2. And now with 12 seconds remaining, John Harbaugh uses his final timeout. What you're looking to do here, you don't need much practice for Justin Tucker. What you're really looking to do with young players is teach them situational football, something I know you practice a lot in training camp. But if this is September and you're in this situation, you're out of timeout, so guys have to understand the only way you can stop the clock and get field goal range is to use the sidelines.
You have to use the sideline. You don't have enough time to throw the ball in the middle of the field and to bring your field goal unit on. If you had 14 seconds, yes, you could do that.
So 3rd down and 9, 12 seconds left. Devin Leary, 6th-round draft pick out of Kentucky, looking to manufacture points. Come near sideline, and that one sails well above Dayton Wade. And with 7 seconds remaining, you're obviously not going to see Justin Tucker, but we might not see Jordan Stout either.
Well, you could throw a help. Well, you got Stout coming out.
You learn things quickly as the season unfolds. Last week, they brought in Emory Jones for one pass at the end of the game. He got sacked, fumbled the ball. The Eagles got the ball and eventually got the winning field goal off the exchange. So with 7 seconds remaining, Jordan Stout will the high end over end punt as time expires, and Natron Brooks will be taken to the turf as the players will take off for the locker room. Ravens get the lone touchdown in this game, and they'll lead it 7-3 on a perfect afternoon for Josh Johnson. The Ravens came out of the gate today looking to get some answers at key positions. Back at quarterback is settled. Josh Johnson with a perfect sheet today. 11 for 11 and a touchdown pass. And the Ravens young players will look to continue to show improvement in the second half as they lead it after one half of play, 7-3 on the Ravens Game Day Network. Josh Johnson and Owen Wright feeling it in the first half. Josh Johnson, a perfect half of football. His day is done. So Rod, as the young players now look to the second half, what are you looking to see as this Ravens team now makes the turn? We are past the halfway point in preseason, which means job pressure escalates.
The coaches are trying to figure out which guys I can trust when I put them on the field. Who knows their assignments, who can play fast physical football, who wants it the most. You got to believe in those guys. And then also you got to figure out who's going to be that third emergency quarterback once the regular season starts. Is it going to be Leary or Jones?
Head down to the field. Evan Washburn had a chance to catch up with Ravens head coach John Harbaugh.
Yeah, Jerry, and started with just the performance of Josh Johnson and the offense. And he made the point, really pleased with how Josh Johnson and the offense handled adversity. Obviously that turnover, the missed snap, but to be able to bounce back from that, get a touchdown. Defensively, the focus in this second half for Harbaugh is being in the right spot. So many young guys playing, appreciates how physical they've been, not getting knocked off the ball, but wants them to be in better position, especially when defending the run.
Thank you, Evan. Ravens will kick it off in that new look kickoff to start the second half. Again, the kicker is at the old spot, the 35. Then the kicking team is at the what's called the setup line, the 40-yard line. The starting line, excuse me. The starting line is the opponent's 40-yard line. See the Ravens on all their white jerseys there. The Falcons return team begins at the 35-yard line. They can have seven players on the 35, a total of 9 between the 30 and the 35-yard line, and then 2 deep return men. Justin Tucker talking with us this week, saying that, to use a golf analogy, he used to have one club in his bag, a driver. Just hit the ball as hard as you can. He said, now I got to learn how to hit all the clubs. He has to learn how to drop it inside the 20, and eventually he's going to try to learn how to skim it through the landing zone out of the end zone and try to pin the opponent, because touchbacks can be the 20, 30, or 40-yard line. That time the ball is penalized because it did not get to the landing zone. So you see the play is stopped immediately, and it will be placed at the 40-yard line. When the kick does not land in the landing zone, it's the same as a kick going out of bounds.
And I don't know if that was just a missed kick. I'm hoping that's what it was from Tucker.
He was trying out one of the clubs in his bag for sure, because he was trying to do something a little different.
That looks like my driver.
You're a much better golfer than I am, so I'm not remotely going to comment there. And this is one of the things fans and coaches have to get used to. When the ball does not land in the landing zone.
By the kicking team. Illegal formation is declined. Short kick from the landing zone of the kicking team. The ball by rule is placed at the 40-yard line. First down.
And that's why the landing zone is such a big deal. So again, the ball, if the ball hits in the landing zone, goes into the end zone and out for a touchback, it goes to the 20-yard line. If the ball sails into the end zone for a touchback, it goes to the 30. If it doesn't hit in the landing zone, it goes to the 40. Spencer Brown in the backfield. And on first down, the jet sweep will net about 7 yards.
Question for both of you guys, the coach and obviously Jerry, somebody who's been around football their entire lives. Do we think 5 yards is enough of a deterrent for once we get to games that matter, risk-averse head coaches won't just decide, kick it out the back of the end zone, we'll start this thing in the 30. So the intended result of this new rule being more kickoff returns won't actually be the case in real games.
I think it'll have a lot to do with the score. In a tight game, 5 yards is a big deal.
All games are tight in the NFL.
So, you know, anytime the score is tight, 5 yards is a big deal, because 5 yards can mean field goal territory at the end of that drive.
But breaking through that line for a kickoff return of much more than 5 yards. But go ahead, Rod.
No, I think you have a good point, Evan, is that I think eventually they're going to come back and say, you know what, listen, let's kick the ball in the end zone. If they want to bring it out, they'll bring it out. If they don't, then they'll get it on the 30. But we're not going to give them an opportunity to return the kick.
It will be interesting to see how it evolves, because every team's going to have a different philosophy.
Absolutely.
As well as a different strategy. Taylor Heineke remains at quarterback. And he's going down the middle. He's got a man at the 25-yard line, and inside the 20 is Chris Blair with a first down.
Really good
28-yard gain.
Deep crossing route. Holman has to squeeze that just a little bit harder. But that is a good throw and catch.
Jalen Armour Davis with the tackle, along with Holman, the veteran, played with the Houston Texans a year ago. Now operating in the Old Bay red zone. Spencer Brown has a hole, and he's inside the 10. A touchdown saving tackle.
That inside zone
by Bo Braid.
Inside zone, you can't get washed down by the defensive front, which happened. And Bo just came up and did a tremendous job of tackling in space. And that's the one thing I like about what the secondary can do for the Baltimore Ravens. They are really good at tackling in ball in space.
Former Terp, played his high school ball at Howard County powerhouse River Hill. Off the play fake, Heineke, back of the end zone, incomplete. Good coverage back there by Jalen Armour Davis. Kadar Holman.
And if Armour Davis gets his head back around, he can see the ball coming. He's in position, but he's trying to play through the receiver. Zach
Orr is trying to see if this young unit can limit the Falcons to a field goal try. Field goals have been an adventure for Atlanta today, 1 of 3. They're on 2nd down and 9 on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Heineke complete to the 5, but no farther. Excellent tackle by Deion Jennings.
And Jennings does a great job of just squeezing the receiver to the sideline and making that tackle.
Puts the Falcons into a 3rd and goal Above us at M&T Bank Stadium, the sky has taken an unfortunate turn to dark. It was surprisingly good weather in the first half. At the risk of being a meteorologist, I don't like the imminent forecast. Carlos Washington in the backfield. 3rd and goal. Heineke lobbing it, incomplete. Jalen Armour-Davis with the coverage.
Yeah,
the kicking team comes on as Zach Orr's defense limits Atlanta to a field goal try.
The ball was just overthrown from the quarterback to the receiver. Armour-Davis does a good job. I'd like to see him get his hands on the receiver, but getting back to the hip, trying to make the ball be overthrown, he did a good job of getting back.
What's the difference between hands on the receiver and being handsy and getting penalized?
Well, when you're too handsy in the National Football League, once the ball's in the air, you can't have your hands on them.
Younghoe Koo with a 24-yard try, and this one is good. So Koo's second field goal of the day makes it a 1-point game. Ravens 7, Falcons 6 on the Ravens game day. 1-point Ravens lead, 3rd quarter. They're up 7-6. Josh Johnson's work is done for the day. 11 for 11, 120 yards. And a veteran now at 38 years old. Josh Johnson's not going to teach Lamar Jackson a whole lot, I wouldn't think, Rod, but it can't be bad for Lamar Jackson to have a veteran who has literally seen everything this league has to offer.
You still have to be able to learn as you get older in the National Football League, and Josh has been through that in his 14 years of being around pro football, so he can help Lamar navigate through some of the offenses, or excuse me, some of the defenses that he's going to see and what the defenses are going to try to do against him.
Well, the Ravens will look to see some clarity on special teams. Deontay Hardy is deep, along with Owen Wright. Hardy, of course, signed in the offseason. He played 5 years with New Orleans, last year with Buffalo. He led the NFL in kick return yards and was an All-Pro back in 2019 with the Saints. And this kick, Hardy will take at the 1. Looking for a block, can't find it, and is taken down at the 20-yard line. Well, for Lamar Jackson, coming off of his 2nd MVP season, there's not much left to do other than win a Super Bowl, and that's interesting what Lamar's talked about from the night he was drafted. It has been his entire focus. It remained his focus this training camp. He said that's what it's all about.
If it's not about winning Super Bowls when you get to the National Football League, then shame on you. But he understands the importance of it.
And it is what drives him. On 1st down, Chris Collier working off right tackle. He'll get a few yards as we head down to the field. Evan Washburn standing by with Pro Bowl linebacker Roquan Smith.
Jerry, thanks. Roquan, we appreciate your time. This is such a critical point of the season. We don't get to see you on these fields for preseason games. What kind of work in progress is this defense making on the practice field?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. You don't see us out on the game field, but in practice, man, it feels like a game some of the days for sure. And like the way we're just getting after each other, making each other better, iron and sharpen iron. So we're excited, and we'll definitely be ready come September 5th.
New coordinators, a big discussion point for those of us on the outside. You've been with Zach for your time here in Baltimore. Now he takes over that role. What excites you about what he can bring in his style?
Yeah, I'm very excited for Z.O. to actually just showcase what he can do in front of the world. Like, we all know his capabilities and how capable he is of being a DC in this league, and which he is right now. And I'm just excited for him to, pin his ears back and just let the guys go. So I'm excited.
We have been seeing what we think will be your running mate here in this preseason in Trenton Simpson. How has that relationship developed, and is he going to be able to step in and provide what this defense needs?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited for him. The guy works his tail off day in and day out. Hardly, when he makes mistakes, he beat himself up, and just knowing how good he wants to be and just everything, he has all the intangibles. So I'm just excited for him to showcase to the world exactly what he's capable of, because the guy has all the tools in the world.
You seem to do it all, but what do you need from that position and that person who steps into that role?
I just need for him to be himself, and he's himself. That'll be more than enough for us and the entire defense. And when he's himself, he's one of the top-tier younger guys in this league.
When you've been putting in work in the offseason, in those days alone where you're grinding, what's been on your mind?
Getting back to that game, but just knowing that there's a process, and I'm very respectful of that process, and we all are. But speaking for myself personally, it's just knowing that it's going to get tough. You're going to face some adversity, but to get us over the hump and where we want to be, knowing it's going to require a lot more work than normal.
We appreciate your time as always. Good luck this year.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Roquan. Well, it is Emory Jones at quarterback now for the Ravens. Chris Collier with a couple of nice runs extending this drive, but the Ravens now looking at a 3rd down and 4 at their 39-yard line. Emory Jones finishing his college career last year at Cincinnati. Also played at Florida and Arizona State. Jones on 3rd down. Good protection. He's got a man. He's got a 1st down at midfield. And that is Malik Cunningham, who jukes his way down into Falcons territory to the 42. Nice pass from Jones.
Nice pass. That was a great route by Malik Cunningham. Made the defender fall down, but throwing it outside to the outside of the receiver, getting him the ball into his hands and letting him do some work.
Jones on 1st down. Goes to the ground game with newly signed John Kelly. John Kelly signed earlier this week, a former Rams draft pick back in the 2018 season. Spent most of the last 3 seasons in the Browns practice squad. Has a little NFL experience playing in 13 games.
You got to have bodies in the National Football League for the preseason. And Kelly's coming in, but now he also gets to highlight what he can do for the Ravens, but the 31 other teams in the National Football League when he gets in.
With Rasheen Ali not playing today after getting a little banged up last week. Jones' pass is caught, but for a loss. Dangerous pass. He found Malik Cunningham. They were trying to set up, looked like a receiver screen, a little bubble screen, but it was blown up.
Yeah, he blew that up easily.
Natron Brooks almost got his hands on the ball, though, so it was great concentration for Cunningham to catch a ball that was that contested.
Yeah, Sean Ryan just has to do a better job of being stout at the line of scrimmage, holding the defender off to let the ball get thrown out to the receiver.
Puts the Ravens in a 3rd and 11. Emory Jones to throw. Has time, but he's off the mark. He was looking for Dayton Wade at the sticks. And the punt team comes on with 7:09 to play in the 3rd quarter, and the Ravens holding on to a 1-point lead.
Yeah, Jones just threw that one back inside. If he would have threw it outside to the outside shoulder, that left shoulder of the receiver, that could have been a completion.
We saw Devin Leary late in the 2nd quarter. You would think now that it will be all 2nd half for Emory Jones as the Ravens try to see what he can do after his first NFL training camp. Natron Brooks is deep. Jordan Stout will angle a high end over end kick toward the far side of the field. And Brooks will take it for a fair catch at the 15. Falcons ball when we get back. Ravens by a point on the Ravens Game Day Network.
This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
3rd quarter of today's broadcast is brought to you by Safeway. Ravens leading the Falcons 7-6, 7:02 to play in the 3rd quarter. We head down to the field. Evan Washburn standing by with 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson.
Jerry, thanks. You just mentioned 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson. I know your priorities all about the team and an eventual Super Bowl, but can you appreciate the company you're now in here as a 2-time MVP?
Absolutely. Great guys, a lot of guys who paved the way for us. Us quarterbacks in the league. I'm just grateful to be in a house full of known names, household names.
Absolutely. Year 2, keeping that number 2 in mind with Todd Monken in this offense. What's different at this point of the year as opposed to last year when you're learning his system? Now you have complete command.
Me just being so competitive, knowing I can get to certain things that put my offense in a better situation. I feel like my mind is racing all the time because I know a lot of the offense now. So it's like, man, we should get to this faster and stuff like that. And just trying to beat our defense in camp. That's all.
Which isn't easy. And I'll ask you a similar question I asked Roquan a minute ago, because we don't get to see you out on the preseason field, and I understand why. But what excites you about the work and the progress you guys as an offense are making on the practice field?
Man, just seeing guys get after it, seeing guys get better each and every day. Well, we strive to be 1% better, and I'm seeing it throughout the young guys because our team is a lot younger on offense this season, and that's the biggest thing right now.
Yeah, you mentioned the youth. What's that mean for you? What's required from you when you're leading a group that has some youth to it?
Just lead by example. Just show those guys like what it takes to be an NFL pro, and to be a winning team.
I know you love talking about your guys. I want to rip through a couple of them. Zay in year 2. I'm sure you spent some time with him in the offseason. Where's his game moved to here as he enters this season?
Man, just a lot smooth. He's been a smooth guy, smooth route runner, great hands, but it's showing even more like a huge leap from year 1 to year 2 it's going to be a thing to see for you guys, because I'm already seeing it. It's just a thing for the fans and, the world to see.
We know what Mark is, but Isaiah really broke out last year when Mark went down. Now it's the two of them. What's that give this offense?
And we got a two-headed monster at the tight end position. It just put our offense in a great situation. We got the guys at receiver. We have those huge guys on the offensive line blocking, running routes, looking like receivers at tight end. So it just brings a lot to our offense, especially for me.
Last name I'll mention, and maybe saving the best for last. You're building a legendary status. I think Derrick Henry's kind of cemented himself in that conversation. What is it like to work with somebody that has that type of game and that type of mentality?
Man, it's hard to explain, man, because that guy is different, man. Fast, huge physical guy. Man, I just can't wait till the games start and we can just show the world what we're capable of.
Last year, the words were locked in, and you seem to be locked in the offseason. What were your priorities? Because even physically, there's clearly a difference.
Yeah, man, just trying to get myself in a better position than we were last year. I felt like we had all the tools. We just needed one more thing, and I feel like we're getting there. We're getting there. We can't speak too soon. We haven't played the first regular season game yet. We haven't played the last regular season game yet. We're going to have to see.
Is that a challenge in its own right, that you can't rush the process? As much as you want to get back to where you were last year, it does require the day-to-day and the week-to-week.
Yeah, absolutely, because just because I'm so competitive and we were so close. So that's probably it. But we're just going to take everything a game at a time and go from there.
Lastly, let's step away from the football field. You told me you had a busy offseason, moving around a lot. What was the coolest thing you experienced, non-football related, in your time away?
Experience in Paris. It was my first time in Paris this offseason. Went to Fashion Week, seeing a lot of celebrities. Seeing Wemby, he's like 7'6", made me look like a small guy, but it was great to see different celebrities and stuff like that, and a great experience.
Hey, man, continuing to build that lifestyle and that culture. We appreciate your time. Always good to see you. You're bringing it, as always, with the jewelry. It's what I look forward to most every preseason.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Lamar. Deontay Hardy with the punt return. As we head to break with the Ravens in front of the Atlanta Falcons. 7-6, so the Ravens gain Danielsburg. Leidos and the Ravens are partnering to tackle addiction. To learn more, go to leidos.com/opioids. Together, we can tackle opioid addiction. 7-6, Ravens continue to lead. 4:18 to play, third quarter. Great interview with Lamar Jackson and Evan Washburn. Lamar is in rarefied air, Rod. He's one of only 11 players to win multiple MVP awards. Only 6 players have ever won the MVP 3 or more times. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Jim Brown, Brett Favre, and Johnny Unitas.
He's in a good category, and I would not be surprised if he got 3.
Or more. Chris Collier will carry on first down.
But to listen to Lamar, I mean, good players inspire themselves, great players inspire others. And when you listen to Roquan, you listen to Lamar, they inspire their teammates. And that's what you want. You want your leaders to inspire the rest of the team to get everybody rallied together, because you're going to win and lose as a group.
And it's fun when you talk to the young players, guys like Nate Wiggins, who's not playing today after a shoulder injury last week. But he said, you know, he grew up playing Lamar on Madden, and now he's playing against him on the practice field. It's hard to get your head wrapped around that for young guys. Emory Jones flush from the pocket, throws a strike complete to Riley Sharp, the tight end. Will pick up a first down as he gets a 14-yard gain.
Yeah, very athletic in Jones, getting out of the pocket, throwing the ball well on the run. And it's really good to see all these guys come in and play against. Think about Roger Rosengarten. He was 13 years old when Derrick Henry got into the National Football League, and now he's playing with them. So all these guys are seeing the guys they used to look up to. Now they get to play with them.
Jones on first down. Good protection. Going deep. Got a man open. He's got him at the 15 and in for the touchdown. Dayton Wade. And nobody happier to see the long ball than Lamar Jackson, as Emory Jones goes up top for a 56-yard touchdown throw to Dayton Wade.
And I don't know if that was a double move or he just outran the defensive back. I didn't see the top side route, but it was a great throw, easy catch. And sometimes when it's an easy catch, you got to look that ball all the way in and do the ABCs of receptions. And he did a great job of looking the ball in and getting that touchdown.
You see young guys like Emory Jones show up in camp, and you wonder, all right, what has he got that caught the scouts' attention? I think we know. That was a beautifully thrown ball. He gave it I think when we look at the replay, I think we'll see a double move, because he gave it one of those double pumps. And Dayton Wade got wide open.
First time out. Baltimore. Their first will be 30 seconds.
While the Ravens take a break, we'll take a look. Take us through the route, Rod. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, yeah, he got him. He set him down. But the great double move by the receiver, bad angle by the defensive back who went underneath the receiver instead of to the upfield shoulder. But a great move, great throw, easy catch.
But as you mentioned, maybe the hardest catch in football is when you're that wide open.
It is. I mean, you're so open, you're not really concentrating when it's a tight window. And you got to do what we say the ABCs of receiving the football.
So Dayton Wade, who had a big start last week with 4 catches in the end zone, the Ravens will go for 2. Emory Jones and Collier in the backfield. Collier in motion. The toss to Collier. He's hit and stopped at the 1-yard line. Now the Ravens lead is 7. 13-6 in front of the Falcons. Dayton Wade in the end zone, and Lamar Jackson excited as the Ravens regain a longer lead on the Ravens game day. This last Ravens touchdown is like every episode of Ted Lasso. I can watch it 3 times.
Yeah, great double move and great throw by Jones, just taking advantage of the aggression of the defensive back for the Atlanta Falcons and just looking that ball in, the fundamentals of catching the football down the field, making a big play for the Ravens.
And how about Dayton Wade? 4 catches a week ago in the preseason opener, 2 catches and a touchdown today. He's a young man who's making a name for himself.
And the coaches are starting to trust him and put him out there to make those plays.
And the return for the Falcons, Trey Faval, get it out to about the 27-yard line. Atlanta goes to work from there. Dayton Wade has also been drafted into the UFL, a high selection for the Michigan Panthers. So there are a lot of scouts who recognize this young man who can play football.
He can play.
He will have some options. The sun has now poked its head through the clouds as the rain continues to hold off. Spencer Brown in the backfield as Atlanta will start to drive at their 30. John Paddock at quarterback. And Brown will not get far on first down. John Harbaugh seeing a lot of young players step up.
Isaac again coming off crashing the end, and that's a really nice play by a defensive outside backer edge rusher coming down, making a tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
Adisa Isaac getting his very first game action. Part of this year's Ravens draft class. Paddock's pass off the mark. The Falcons will be looking at a 3rd down. Darrell Worley and Bump Cooper.
Paddock took that ball a little bit too early, but that's the pressure that the defensive front is getting on the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, making him a little uncomfortable throwing the ball early. Bump Cooper, that's a good name.
Bump Cooper?
Bump Cooper. Bump and run.
I was going to say, for a corner, you love when a guy's name perfectly fits his position.
Bump and run. Oh, he's not going to. Here he is. There he is. He's going to bump him.
At the bottom of your screen, it's Bump Cooper. Paddock wants to throw. He's hit as the ball flutters incomplete. No whistle, so this is still a live ball. Pepe Williams coming on the blitz.
Pepe came. Was that a nickel? Was that the nail that they ran last week? It is. It's the nail they ran last week. He just worked his way through it.
Pass. Incomplete forward pass. 4th down.
Outstanding play by Pepe.
And I love how they called that. They didn't blow the whistle. They let the play out, and then they huddled as an officiating group and determined it was an incomplete pass. The reason that's so important is if you blow the whistle because you think it's it's going to go one way.
The game clock to 2:05.
The play's dead.
It's dead.
So you can't review it. You can't talk about it. You can't. But if you don't blow the whistle, you can go back and do exactly what Brad Allen and his officiating crew did on that play, which is determine it was an incomplete pass.
The refs are getting better. They need preseason too.
It's preseason for all of us, but you like to see that level of communication among the officiating crew. Bradley Pinion's punt taken by Deontay Hardy. Nice move on the first man down, and Hardy gets a couple of yards on the punt return. Well, we'll make the turn for the regular season before long. It starts September 5th on the road in Kansas City. Everybody's going to call this nationally a grudge match. It's not. The last time these two met was for a trip to the Super Bowl. This time they meet for a trip to start the season. It's the beginning of the storyline, not the continuation of last year's storyline. First home game is Vegas, 9:15. Then another road trip to a tough place to play in the regular season, Dallas, before Josh Allen and the Bills come to Baltimore to close out the month of September. A huge challenge right out of the gate. John Kelly in the backfield. He'll carry a nice sidestep. Kelly wrestles his way across the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that first month is a tough schedule. This is a good football team. They're going to be challenged within that first month. And if you can go on the road to open up the season for the NFL in Kansas City and kind of make a statement, and that's what you really want, especially from a team that it's a different team from last year. You don't know what this team is going to develop like, but you know they have the talent to get back to that championship game.
Emory Jones hands it off to John Kelly, and Kelly will pick up the first down as we start to work our way toward the final minute of the third quarter. Third quarter of today's broadcast is brought to you by Safeway. Time for our view from the booth, brought to you by Gold Vision. Rod, who has really stood out to you as you look at the play today?
You got to go to the, can I call him old man? But you got.
Well, you can because you have a gold jacket.
Josh, I mean, he played so well for him. Again, I think Simpson on the defensive side. I think Isaac is playing outstanding football coming in, making plays.
Emory Jones sacked back at the 32-yard line, trying to scramble forward. He salvaged a couple of yards. He would have lost about 8 when he was originally hit. Emory Jones showing some escapability. Josh Johnson, of course, the number 2 behind Lamar Jackson. No questions lingering there. And as we work our way to the final seconds of the third quarter, Trenton Simpson in 2 weeks of play has really established he is the running mate for Roquan Smith. So John Harbaugh getting a lot of the questions he wanted answered. He's getting them answered today. One more quarter to play here in Baltimore this afternoon. The Ravens in front of the Falcons by a touchdown. Dayton Wade with the play of the day so far. his first touchdown of preseason. And the Ravens point to the fourth quarter on the Ravens Game Day Network. Big day for Josh Johnson and Dayton Wade for the Ravens. Josh Johnson a perfect 11 for 11. Dayton Wade 2 receptions, including a 56-yard touchdown, which he sprinted down the sideline and left nothing to doubt that he could play in this league.
It doesn't matter where you go to school. If you can play the scouts in the National Football League, they will find you and they'll give you an opportunity.
Played at Western Kentucky for 3 seasons before finishing out his college career at Ole Miss. Emory Jones continues at quarterback, former Cincinnati Bearcat, looking to build on his body of work. Pass out of the backfield. Ooh, look out, big hit on John Kelly, who was chopped off his feet. He'll lose a couple of yards on the play.
And it's good to see Kelly get up from a hit like that, taking a low hit, going to the sideline.
We've seen the hits go lower now, obviously with the focus on avoiding head concussions, head collisions and concussions. But those are scary hits when they come down below the knee. Totally legal, but scary nonetheless. 3rd and 11. For Jones, under pressure, check down pass complete, and Kelly able to get to the 40-yard line, but about 4 yards shy of the first down, so the punt team will come on.
Yeah, Kelly did a great job of catching that ball on the shoulder pad with one hand. Try to get up the field to try to get the first down. You got to say good job by the Atlanta Falcons defense getting off the field.
Fourth quarter of today's broadcast brought to you by Toyota. Dylan Drummond awaits the punt, and he'll make it with a fair catch. Zach Gore's defense has kept the Falcons out of the end zone today, limited Atlanta to just 2 made field goals. Falcons also with 2 missed field goals. Rod, in visiting with Zach Gore at length this week, what were your impressions of talking football with a guy who is younger than you were when you ended your career as he begins his coordinator career by 5 years? He's only 32 years old.
Well, I can call him Z.O. because that's what Roe called him. I don't know if I should call him that. Can I call him Z.O.? Zo? Whatever. I mean, it is great to see how much passion he has for this game, but he also understands the standard that his defense needs to have on a consistent basis to be what this defense normally is, and that's being a solid, fundamentally sound defense that can get after the quarterback. What they did last year, can they repeat that? That would be hard to do, but they have the talent and they have the weapons to get it done.
Second down and 7 for Atlanta. Off the read option, John Paddock chased out of bounds. Well, the chase for quarterbacks could very much belong to this group this season as they look to replace the production of Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney had 9.5 sacks, 19 quarterback hits. Dafe Owe and David Ajabo. We saw some of Ajabo today, which is a great step in the right direction. Kyle Van Noy is the veteran of the bunch. Tavius Robinson, a second-year player, had a chance to visit with him. He sees this game differently than he did a year ago.
Yeah, and I really it's good to come out of Owe, Ajabo, and Robinson. Those 3 have to really pick up their play this year to take over for Clowney and what he did last year.
And Jace McClellan on 3rd and short goes long up the middle all the way out to the 38-yard line as the Atlanta Falcons move the chains with a 17-yard run.
Yeah, anytime you see big runs in the middle of the field, one of the defensive linemen are getting sealed and somebody's out of the gap.
McClellan in the backfield. John Paddock, a rookie quarterback out of Illinois. Going the final stretch for the Falcons. McClellan will try to stretch the defense, and he won't get far. Stuffed right at the point of attack. Adisa Isaac continuing to step up and make plays. The scouts were so excited about this kid They thought they had a great value in Adisa Isaac. And now we started to see him in training camp toward the latter end of camp. But now in week 2 of preseason, you can see why they were so excited. The kid makes plays.
Yeah, they like players from Penn State. But he has, and we talked about this earlier, he has a great story, but he is a good football player.
Quick toss to the near side. Complete to Jesse Matthews. And a nice open field tackle by Bump Cooper.
I just like that name, Bump. Just bump and run.
Bump coverage. Make a big play, becomes thump and bump. It's 3rd down and 1. Zach Orr looking for a big play from his unit. Jace McClellan will get just enough for Atlanta to move the chains. 10:37 left to play in this game. Well, as we look back on the way this game played out, I don't think there's any doubt who our speed player of the game is. Brought to you by Zips Cleaner. Our speed player of the game has to be Dayton Wade with that 56-yard touchdown.
Oh, I mean, it was a great double move. Really sold the curl to the defensive back, took advantage of the aggression, and caught the easy throw that was out there all by himself.
John Paddock with time. His pass is caught down at the 32-yard line. Josh Ali pulling it in. To go back to that last scoring drive for the Ravens, when you have a stop and go route, the other thing you have to have is great pass protection. So this offensive line, which has had a very challenging week with line coach Joe Delisandris hospitalized with an acute illness.
Yep.
George Warhop stepping into the staff for John Harbaugh, a veteran of 27 years, but he has to learn the playbook, the players, the personalities, and pull it all together in time for that regular season opener.
Yeah, anytime you have a double move or a deeper route, the offensive line has to strain longer to protect the quarterback, and they've been doing a great job today.
Only one real significant breakdown. That was in the first half with a clean rusher coming on to Josh Johnson for a sack. Since then, the offensive line did a really strong job today, especially when you consider all that they've had to deal with.
Absolutely, they have. They've done a wonderful job of communicating, playing together, but straining when they have to help their quarterback.
9 minutes even left to play. Ravens lead it 13-6. John Paddock under pressure. His pass sails incomplete. Flags thrown on the near side of the field, and now on the far side of the field as well.
Illegal formation.
Illegal formation. Offense. The penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
You see John Harbaugh on the headset. You see Zach Orr on the headset. Offensive coordinator Todd Monken works from the coach's booth, which is right next to us at midfield. It was interesting when Zach Orr said when the first time he wore the headset last week, you have to punch different buttons to talk to the players than the coaches.
Right.
He said job one was making sure he just got the buttons right. Once he had a handle on that, he said the rest of the day started to play out just fine. Paddock's 3rd down pass will sail high and wide. A flag is thrown. Pepe Williams had the coverage. The receiver appeared to lose his
Illegal
footing.
contact. Defense number 24. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
O.J. Hillier was the target. Rod, take a look. Flag or no flag? You make the call.
He's hitting them. He's touching them. Oh, that's so ticky-tack. I don't know how do you not stay connected to the receiver once you're connected to him in that first 5-yard marker. They want you to get off of him, and that's so hard to do as a defensive back.
Paddock will keep it on the read option, and setting the edge, doing a great job off of the edge, is Deion Jennings. Let's go back to the receiver, because you said something earlier about importance of a defensive back using his hands. If you're on Zach Orr's defense, you want to use your hands. But in that play, he gets penalized for using his hands. So where is the fine line? Because you are allowed to touch the receiver.
You can touch him in the first 5 yards, but he did touch him. He made contact with him to keep him on top. He was barely touched. Really, the receiver running his route was touching him. So it should have been a no call. because he didn't have his hands on him per se, and he wasn't grabbing him down the field.
On 2nd and 9, Paddock's pass is intercepted. Bo Braid, the former Terp, with a pickoff. Now the ball comes loose at the end of the play, and Atlanta says it has recovered. The officials converge.
Oh, he got touched going down, though, didn't he?
This one will get reviewed no matter what, since it's a turnover. Brad Allen getting the call from his staff.
The ruling on the field.
Good
Down by
interception.
contact is under further review.
He got touched right there.
A clean pick. He
That
took
was a
it
pick.
just off the top of the grass. We'll find out when we come back. Ravens lead at 13-6 on the Ravens Game Day Network.
Ravens preseason football is brought to you by Constellation, the Baltimore Ravens official clean energy provider. By DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the Baltimore Ravens. By M&T Bank, the official bank of your Baltimore Ravens. And by MedStar Health, the trusted medical team of the Baltimore Ravens and you. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people.
No need to worry about the replay on whether Bo Braid fumbled the ball at the end of the interception or not. Brad Allen took a look at the replay, determined that Bo Braid did not have the ball for the interception. According to the review, the ball hit the turf before Braid had full control over it. So the review never even got to the point of the fumble. The Falcons will hold on to the ball and be looking at a 3rd down and 9 from the Ravens 25. That's the thing with review. Once they review a play, they can review all aspects of the play, not just the one particular part of the play. John Paddock continuing at quarterback for Atlanta. Ravens lead is 7. Pressure on Paddock. He's got to go deep. He's got a man open, but he can't get him at the 1. Terrific adjustment on the ball
That was a
by
great
Jesse Matthews.
adjustment to the route.
And Bo Braid, who was involved in that last play, had the coverage.
But it's so tough to play that fade route from inside leverage if you're a defensive back playing off. It is so hard to do that.
Younghoe Koo will come on for his 5th field goal try of the day. He's 2 of 4.
And he's missed 2 times coming from this direction.
A 44-yard try from the left hash mark. And the kick is whistled off because the play was whistled dead prior to the snap.
Snap infraction. Kicking team, number 49. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So ironically, a penalty on number 49 will now make it a 49-yard kick for Younghoe Koo. If you're into numerology, maybe 49 is the number you play on the lottery today. Koo from 49. It has the distance. And this one is no good again. Another miss. You're upgraded to a free 10-piece McNuggets with minimum dollar purchase. Available at McDonald's on the app tomorrow. Our defensive play of the game, Pepe Williams with the corner blitz that knocked the ball loose, ruled an incompletion. A big part of the depth in the secondary position, along with Jalen Armour-Davis, Kadar Holman, a former Houston Texan, and TJ Tampa, who I do not believe we've seen today, started to practice this week after overcoming some injury issues earlier in training camp. So this position, Rod, looking fast, experienced, and now deep.
Very versatile with when you talk about 5 and 24 Armour-Davis. and Pepe Williams. They both can play multiple positions, which helps out everybody. So if you need a corner, they can go in the corner. If you need a safety, they can go in the safety. If you need a nickel, they can go in the nickel. So the versatility that both those guys have, especially Pepe Williams, it just adds to what you can do on the field for your defense.
And Pepe Williams was 22 a year ago. When Derrick Henry signed, Pepe gave his jersey number to his new teammate.
I would not have gave it to him.
Pepe says he's got his eye on another number. Didn't tell us what it was, but hoping that he plays ball enough that he can get that. Devin Leary back at quarterback as John Kelly will carry on first down. But I thought it was a very classy move by a young man. He said, look,
the King
22 belongs to the King.
The King would have to pay me. I have a ransom on 22.
I'm giving the kid a lot of points because I think most players would say,
absolutely,
buy me a huge dinner. Get me some jewelry. Give me some cash. Give me some swag. But nope. He said, look. He said Derrick Henry has earned the right to that number, and I gave it to him. And hopefully, I play well enough that I can get the number that I have my eye on. Here's John Kelly on second down. Only gets about a yard to the 45. Ravens will be looking at a third down. Devin Leary played at the end of the second quarter. Now he'll take the snaps here midway through the fourth quarter. Been a good day for Ravens quarterbacks. Josh Johnson 11 for 11, 120 yards and a touchdown. Emory Jones 7 of 9, 100 yards and a touchdown.
I like to see that strong arm that Leary has. Let one go. Let one deep ball go.
They get it here on third down and 4. Blitz pressure coming. O'Leary scrambling, sidesteps a tackler, takes a big hit. That'll be marked right at the sticks. But he took the kind of hit you do not want Lamar Jackson ever taking in the regular season.
No, you don't want him to take it, but when he gets up, he's going to earn his respect from all the other players, saying, you know what, this guy's tougher than I thought he was going to be.
And he earns the first down and keeps the offense on the field with 6:12 to play in the ball game. The Ravens lead remains at 7. John Kelly continues to work in the backfield. Here's Kelly trying to get around the edge. Flag is down as Kelly is taken out of bounds after a short gain.
Yeah, that's going to be holding when the referee throws it.
Holding. Offense number 78. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The only upside to the flag coming from the referee is there's no huddle. He doesn't have to get the call from his officiating crew. It's quick with a flag, it's quick with a mic, and you move on.
Now you got to work your way out of a hole, getting that holding call on first down.
As we look at the new battery in the backfield, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. That'll strike fear into more than just a few defensive coordinators around the NFL. How do you stop that? Leary, check down pass. And getting all the way out to midfield is Chris Collier. So he eats up most of the yardage lost on the penalty and then some with an 11-yard gain.
Yeah, going back and thinking about Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson being together on that sideline, thinking, okay, when Lamar puts it in the belly of Derrick in the game, do we crash the end? Do we keep the end out? Do we let Lamar get outside? It's going to be a lot of question marks going to be answered.
And if you guess wrong, it comes at a huge price. Collier on the delayed handoff, just about a yard on the play. The other facet, and that's why the offense 2.0 in the second year under Todd Monken is so important, because defenses are going to want to put 8 in the box and try to stop the run game with Lamar and Derrick Henry, which is going to open up the passing game opportunities. And Lamar's development as a quarterback under Todd Monken becomes a huge part, where if you want to gamble and stuff the box defensively, you run the risk of Lamar stretching the field vertically in Todd Monken's offense.
Yeah, Lamar has become such a better passer as he's gone through his careers in the league.
Big hit on a loose ball, but recovered. Unless they whistle this one dead. Kadir Ismail made the catch, took the hit, ball came loose.
Did he take 3? Did he take?
I don't think he made a football move.
The catch, fumble, and recovery by the offense.
That's not a catch to me. You got to have 2 steps in a football move, right?
Whether it's a catch or not, it's great field awareness.
No,
by
for him
Kadir
to get back
Ismail
on it,
to get back on that ball. That's in the doghouse, out of the doghouse as a rookie in 3 steps. Well done. Trey Vavol is deep for Atlanta, awaiting the kick from Jordan Stout. Stout's end over end punt will drop down inside the 5 and trickle into the end zone for a touchback. 3:20 to play as John Harbaugh's Ravens continue to lead at 13-6 on the Ravens Game Day Network. For each sack made by the Ravens during this season, Constellation, America's energy choice, will send one group of students to visit the Power Up exhibit at the Maryland Science Center. To learn more, visit BaltimoreRavens.com/sacks for science. Well, 1 game left in the preseason. That's next week in Green Bay. It'll be an interesting week, especially for the veterans. They'll get a lot of work against the Packers, not in this 3rd preseason game, but in the joint practice next Thursday in Green Bay. Joint practices for veteran players like Lamar Jackson, Roquan Smith have really replaced preseason games to get up to speed. And then, of course, for the bubble players, the young players, last chance to impress John Harbaugh, Eric DeCosta, and the Ravens personnel team as they wrap up preseason a week from today with another early game. It's a noon game in Green Bay, 1 o'clock game in Baltimore. A chance for players like Saleh to try to either win jobs or more playing time. Falcons will start the drive with Spencer Brown carrying the ball out to the 27-yard line.
And they ran that counter very effectively today. The Atlanta Falcons offense coming straight downhill on the backside of that cut block.
Injured player as the medical staff heads out. It's Adisa Isaac. Slow to his feet, but leaving the field under his own power, but walking very slowly. Looks like he took a hit in the leg. Rob, give us what you see here. Ooh.
Yeah, that cut block. So the tight end coming back over from the defensive right to the left, going down low on him. He didn't hit him completely in the knee, so that's a good thing. But catching him, making a little stinger over there.
Chase McClellan will get the toss. Tries to get the edge, and he is pulled down by Deion Jennings. 2:45 left to play. It's up to Zach Orr's young defensive players now to secure this win.
And you'd like to see Atlanta get in a 2-minute mode so Zach gets used to calling up-tempo style for a 2-minute with the game on the line.
2.5 to play. Falcons have all 3 of their timeouts and the 2-minute warning. A great situational football experience for young defenders. McClellan carries for a couple to the 36. It's all or nothing for the Falcons. Field goal does you no good. Falcons trying to get one more play in ahead of the 2-minute warning. They will. The pass complete to midfield and all the way down to the Ravens' 47-yard line. Final 2 minutes to play in week 2 of the preseason with the Ravens up 13-6 on the Ravens game. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, 1:55 left to play. Ravens up by a touchdown. Atlanta with the ball at the Ravens' 48-yard line. 1st and 10. Falcons. Atlanta with all 3 of its timeouts. This is the situational football that they practice every day. So Zach Orr's young defensive players get a chance to see this live today.
They get to see it. He gets to call it within a game setting, which is helpful for him and his defense.
Jet sweep coming to the near side. And getting out of bounds with a good pickup of about 8 yards is Ross Dwelly.
Yeah,
check that. Jesse Matthews
Yeah, Bump Cooper was over there. Bump, he has to get vertical to turn that ball back inside when he's that outside edge guy.
1:50 to play. Jace Matthews with a big hole until he's flipped off his feet, but not until he gets down to the 27-yard line. As Jace Matthews right up the middle rips off a 15-yard gain. Jace McClellan, rather. Clock running, 1:29. Paddock throws incomplete. Had a man open at the 23-yard line, but could not connect with John Fitzpatrick, and that stops the clock with 1:22.
They threw the ball a little bit too far inside when he stopped on the outside edge of the hash.
In a regular season game, in this situation, there would be a lot of people who would be worried about parking issues, but there's no overtime in preseason. I say parking because tonight it's the Orioles and the Red Sox next door at Camden Yards, so they need all the parking spaces. Overtime would be a fiasco in that situation in the regular season. Jace McClellan in the backfield. John Paddock wants to throw, has time, has his man inside the 20-yard line and down to the 13. Vandy Rigby with the stop on Jesse Matthews. But now the Falcons are in the Old Bay red zone with 1:16 left to play.
Yeah, Rigby has to get further out to the curl area because you had a running back went to the flat, so that kind of held Cullum, and he has to make sure that he stays out there on that receiver. But you got to make sure all the defense, everybody's working together, and that's something that they're going to talk about once they get into the week in this type of situation.
1st and 10 Atlanta at the Ravens 13. Falcons still have 2 timeouts to work with. McClellan bouncing to the outside, but he is tracked down by Bo Braid along with Joe Evans, and they tackle him inbounds, which keeps the clock running.
Braid has done a really good job of tracking the ball down, making those tackles in the open space.
Under a minute to play. Ravens lead is 7. Jace McClellan, the lone back. Paddock wants to throw. Pass is caught down at the 4-yard line. A flag is down in the end zone.
I think that's going to be on Braid holding.
After Jesse Matthews made the catch close to the first down marker. Here's Brad Allen.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 6. The penalty is declined as a result of the play as a first down.
So the Falcons have it 1st and goal at the Ravens 3-yard line. A month from today, and this is wildly high drama.
It is.
But
and
that's why John Harbaugh wants these situations, because he wants his young players to learn how to master these situations.
That's right. How
when
do you
the stakes
play,
aren't as high.
Right. How do you play inside of each of these situations when the game is going on?
Give us to McClellan, and McClellan plows into the end zone.
I think you go for 2. Go for the win.
Again, there is no overtime in preseason, but there's no reason not to go for the win, and that's exactly what Atlanta appears ready to do here. Jace McClellan with a 3-yard touchdown. And now Zach Orr's unit trying to save the win by foiling a 2-point conversion. John Paddock will spread his receivers out. Inside handoff. McClellan is thrown to the turf by Tavius Robinson. And Zach Orr's defense comes up with the biggest stop of the day.
Great job by Tavius Robinson, just crashing down, seeing the handoff from the quarterback, and just going to make a play, a big play for the defense. Great stop.
Outstanding play by the second-year edge rusher, Tavius Robinson, making the play for Zach Orr's defense to hold on to the 1-point lead. Now, in the regular season, you do not have to use the new kickoff format here because the Falcons are trailing. They could elect to kick an onside kick.
Right.
I doubt we'll see it here, but in the regular season, this is where you could revert back to the old onside kick. If you do use the old onside kick, you have to let the opponent know that that is what you are intending to do.
I guess
the Falcons are clearly not doing it here.
I would definitely do an onside kick just for the practice.
You might as well. You should practice it. This would be the opportunity to do it. It's the only time you can use an onside kick is in the fourth quarter if the kicking team is trailing. Tavius Robinson with the play of the day for the defense so far. All the Ravens need to do is secure the ball here. Owen Wright and Malik Cunningham are deep. Wright takes it on the hop. He'll take it across the 20. He's got a gap. He's to the 30. Owen Wright to the 40.
Owen Wright is like, I want a touchdown.
And now with Falcons only having 2 timeouts, the offense can go to victory formation. And with 31 seconds remaining for the first time this preseason, the hay's in the barn. It gives you a little sneak preview to how dramatic the kicking game can be in the fall.
Yeah,
because you're going to see some onside kicks after seeing the new kick format.
But that's why I'm a little surprised they didn't try it, just to go through the exercise of go do an onside kick in a game situation.
Victory formation for Devin Leary, and that will do it. As the Falcons and Ravens players will meet each other at midfield, and the Ravens get their first win of preseason. Hanging on to beat the Falcons 13-12. Tavius Robinson with the play of the 2-point conversion that secures the win for John Harbaugh over Raheem Morris and the Falcons. All right, Rod. John Harbaugh leaves with a smile. What are your big takeaways from week 2 of the preseason?
I believe the coach is starting to find out who they can count on and who they can believe in. Simpson is one of those guys, but guys who these last 2 weeks, Pepe Williams, Armour Davis, those guys are showing up. Even Wade has played well the last 2 weeks, so you never really know. But guys, they're making the coaches' jobs hard come next week when they got to make that cut.
And there will be a lot of time spent looking at game tape for the offensive line because that's very hard to determine on the fly live. But with a new offensive line coach, they had the same questions looming. It's Tavius Robinson with the defensive play of the day as the Ravens hold on to beat the Falcons 13-12 this afternoon.